Live. We are live. Live, live, live. Check. Check 1 2. Check. All right. We are live. Monthly Q&A. February 2025. Crazy. Alrighty. Well, we'll wait for some people to come in. It looks like a couple popped in. I don't know if they're still here. YouTube is slow to give me the viewer count of people in here, but Board American, what's up, homie? How you doing? Demo Man Don, thanks for tuning in, dude. George Washington, trying to start a call-in and letter campaign to get proper to pick up my camo. Hell yeah, dude. Especially for their BDU 2.0. Hopefully they'll also start making their tops the same way I do too. And that's awesome, dude. Thank you very much. I appreciate the support. And I'll talk a little bit more about the camo stuff after I answer the community post questions here for the live. But so trademark is filed. I've trademark protection. I'm using the TM trademark mark and all that. Like that's all under law, USPTO guideline and all that. I have about 6 months to get at least one licensee for print and production of the camo pattern for the process into the final registration, which can then use the R registered mark for the brand for trademark registration and stuff. So I'm on a bit of a time frame. It's a good span of time based on their processing times and assessment and everything so far. Having the website up and everything is good, which I have already, fractcamo.com, and all that. So that process is on its way. Just working with some associates to help network and do that. And I'm reaching out to various companies about that. I've talked to Camel Fabric Depot already. They're right now, unfortunately, not able to take on any other commercial licensing contracts, but in the future, they're down to work with me. So whenever that is down the line. So I've just got to keep pecking away and keep contacting various companies in the market, especially the textile mills, first and foremost, here domestically to get things in the works. So, but that's awesome, GW. I appreciate you doing that, man. That's awesome. Demo Man Don, yeah, dude. Thanks for tuning in. Everybody else coming in, welcome. Any questions? Throw them in the chat. Slow mode is on. Helps keep the spam bots away, but also helps me keep track of the chat. I'm going to answer the community post questions per usual. I'm going to get those out of the way, and then it's just kind of ask me anything free for all here in the chat. Lynchpin Supply, Coyote, hey, what's up, brother? Thanks for tuning in, man. Glad you're here. All right, community post questions. I'll get through these quick. I got a couple here, not too many. So Shadowy Snowman 2141. First question: did you used to work for Blackwater or Triple Canopy? Yes. And if so, what would be the biggest difference between the bigger PMC firms versus the smaller ones? So I've worked for Triple Canopy and a number of other companies under the Constellus umbrella, which owns former Blackwater now under Academy, one of their subsidiary groups, mostly training now, but they also do some OGA contracts and stuff as well still. Biggest difference is budget and then just personnel and logistics. I mean, really the big three for any organization like that or a military or anything. But for the private sector, that's going to be the biggest thing. Smaller budget, smaller logistics. They tend to work a lot with other companies and with, the DoD if they're on defense contract or whatever. But, it's what provisions those companies bring to the table and what the parameters of their portion of contract is. Because OAG, awards contracts out. One contract they'll award out to multiple companies to help cover the umbrella and the span and scope of that contract at any given time. So it really depends on what the company has to offer. Smaller companies are usually pretty good about offering competitive contract pay rates and all that stuff too. It's just they're a smaller company. They've got investors just like any company. They've got assets wherever. So it just really depends on that. And with your comment, looking to get into that line of work, you got to have experience. You had to have a background that you can prove in the assessment process during the initial training periods and stuff when onboarding and hiring and then onboarding and then starting that whole process with the company. There's some good videos out there. Recently, Vets to PSC here on YouTube, Kenny Alisea, awesome dude, homie. He did a really good interview with the recruiter for Triple Canopy. It's a good interview. I've talked about that stuff in multiple videos before, but it's a really good, lengthy talk about requirements, what to expect with training, and like all that stuff. There's a lot that goes into it, but first and foremost, you got to have a background and you have to be able to prove yourself. With the training process, if you fail something or don't show competency in something, they will offer a period of remedial training. If you still don't get it after that, you're gone. That's simple as that. So you got to have a background, but hopefully that answers those questions that you had there. Lichpin, Triple Canopy tried to recruit you. Hey, you should have took it, man. It's good money. It's good pay. 3 month on, 1 month off rotations for contracts. That month off, you can go do whatever. You can travel, go home for a month, whatever. It's good work and it's good pay. Oh, Static Guard Embassy, Iraqi Embassy. Yeah, that's a big contract there in Kuwait. The Static Guard stuff doesn't pay as well as your PSS, like your PSD team stuff or your ERT team stuff, like what I did. It doesn't pay as well as them, but it still pays well. And I mean, pretty much everything is covered, room and board and like all that stuff. Food, you get food provision. You got PX and all that stuff. You can go buy whatever. They have just about anything you can think of at the commissaries there and stuff. So it's a pretty good gig, honestly. The static and mobile guard work can be a little boring at times, but I mean, it's a good job for the pay that you're getting. I mean, it's worth it to be bored, but still, carrying a firearm in a conflict zone. Joe Morgan, hey dude, thanks for tuning in. Good to see you. Got home after a long, miserable day of class deployments. Shaggy for the first time in 2 weeks. Hey, all right. Next community post question that was posted. Matthew Bartholomew, 4262. What do you think will be revealed from the declassified JFK documents? I don't know. Hard to say. I mean, they're working to declass it, so any and all information that is permitted to be released, I mean, we'll see what happens. I'm not one to I don't prescribe to a lot of speculation, so once the facts are out, the facts are out. So I don't know what to expect. I don't know what to think about it. Not in a position to, because I don't have the adequate information on it. I don't have access to that yet. So once that's released, be able to form a informed opinion on it. It's a good question, though. Thank you. Let's see. Last questions here from ACR Protect 4476. Good evening, my friend. Evening, bro. Thanks for the questions, as always. Hopefully you can catch the live. Let's see. He asks, first question is Mexican food or Italian food? Ooh, Mexican food. I love Mexican food, and I've been down to Central America many times for work. And growing up in Texas when I was younger, I love the heat. I love spice, like as far as that goes, not temperature heat. Screw all that. But I'm a chili head. Like I love spicy food, and just ceviche is awesome. Just tacos are great. Like you can't go wrong with all that. Italian food's great too, but it's been made very basic and commercialized in the American cuisine sense. So it's nothing real special. It's a good hearty meal. Always a good fallback. So I love both, but I would pick Mexican food over Italian food. Just at base. And then he asks, I know you can sew. Which machine do you prefer, Juki or Janome? I use a Singer, actually, just a consumer grade from Hobby Lobby or whatever, Singer sewing machine for the various little projects that I do, DIYs and things like that, repairs, all that. I use a Singer. I like them. They're easy to use and they work well. So neither of the ones you mentioned. So I don't use any commercial grade stuff. I don't have the capital or logistics for that. Last question he has, what are your thoughts on drones for SHTF or Minuteman applications? ISR is really what it's going to be used for, reconnaissance and ISR. Unless everything falls apart and you have the capability for something a little more spicy, we'll say. That's very far and few in between, and most people don't have the experience or understanding about how to adapt a drone platform for that. So mostly it's just going to be reconnaissance or ISR. I mean, it can be useful, but they're noisy. They can give you away. People can track the return path of the drone back to you. And they can be shot down. So I mean, there are inherent risks with using with them as much as an asset that they can provide, and they do provide an asset with using them in the field. So you got to weigh all the pros and cons. So that's about all I got for that. For the community post questions. So thank you everyone for those. That was awesome. Some good questions there. So now we will open it up to the chat and just shoot the breeze. Have some fun here. So you got questions, topics of discussion, fire away. I can talk about the Camel brand some more. I kind of open with that a little bit. Music questions, anything like that, whatever. Anything on the table, fire away. Demo Man Don, you're eating wings. Ooh, what kind of sauce you got on them? What kind of sauce? I'd love me some wings. They are wonderful. Don't have a band shirt on, but I am wearing a variant of Mediterranean lizard camouflage hoodie. Buffalo. Ooh, nice. Classic. Good to go with that ranch dressing in tandem. That's a big thing up here. I don't know how much it is down by you guys. But Ken's Steakhouse ranch dressing. Fantastic. Goes excellent with buffalo wings. Blue cheese ranch is also delicious. Yes, I agree, Lynchpin. Fantastic. Absolutely delicious. Homemade right now? Ooh, nice. Very nice. Good stuff. Anyone with any questions? An axe to grind. Hey, dude. What's up, brother? How you doing? Thanks for tuning in. I'm good, man. Just doing the monthly Q&A, answer the community post questions. So just kind of open to the chat now. Talk about whatever. I got my camouflage brand business up and running. All that good stuff. Got some album releases coming soon. All that good stuff. Homemade tartar sauce is the shit. Absolutely. The same with like garlic aioli. The drummer for the one band I'm in, Possegum. He's a hunting and fishing guide for his job, and he's a great cook. His garlic aioli is fantastic. Goes really good with catfish. Axe Grind, dig the camo pounders. Hey, thanks, bro. Yeah, I'm trying to get them in the market right now to license with some textile mills to start commercial print and sales distribution and stuff. Because the brand, I only do licensing. I'm not doing any manufacturing logistics. I'm trying to partner with and bolster American manufacturing by partnering and licensing with textile mills and then uniform and gear companies. We need that boost in the American economy, but it's just more sensible with logistics and capital and everything. Cause like, I don't have all the money that it takes to start a textile business. That's a lot of money. So working with them just makes more sense. So that's kind of the template for the company and the brand and stuff is to do that. So I've got 10 patterns and just looking to license with various textile mills and then brand retail licensing and retail with uniform and gear companies and everything. So it's a process, but I've got some months to get at least one company on board, one business on board for licensing. Lynchpin, have you hit up SOE yet with the camo patterns? Well, they don't print their own textile yardage, to my understanding. So wherever they get their yardage from, wherever they get their material from, I would need to talk to them first to get it start being printed. but I have not reached out to them yet. I would like to talk to John. I'd like to go on their podcast at some time too to talk about that as well. Um, but I'll be reaching out to them next week. To ask about that, about their material sourcing, and then the possible partnership in the future and stuff. So, Tornado Survival 2.0, yo, bro. Hey, thanks for tuning in, man. Let's see, an axe to grind. So that Jackson SL2MG, yeah, the soloist. It's sweet that you picked up is developing super sharp frets. You've oiled the board a couple times since you got it. Your high E literally gets caught under number 1 and number 24. Ooh, so that sounds like your headstock neck where they meet the nut there. Sounds like it might be a spacing issue on that. I would also check your bridge for depth set and intonation setting there. Also height, string height, which may also take doing some servicing, like relaxing the truss rod that runs down the neck, which you can access from the headstock. You might have to take the plate off and relax that, and then set that, and then set your string height, possibly lower or higher. But you want to check the nut, or the nut bridge, on the end of the neck by the headstock, to see if there's a spacing issue there. Yeah, that's about all I could think of there. I don't remember what bridge you had on it, but yeah, I would check those things first. You may also want to change, depending on what you have for your depth set and your intonation and stuff. I don't know what gauge strings you're using, but you might want to go to like a 10 or 11 gauge for a 6-string. Linchpin supply, probably not many American textile mills around. No, there's a few actually. There's quite a few. Shop Performance Fabrics, Fetchheimer, Stitchco. There's a number of other ones actually. There's quite a few, big and small. I've been doing my research. There's quite a few, and I'm trying to reach out to all of them, and see what's up. Shop Fabrics, Camo Fabric Depot is their subsidiary company. They can't do anything right now, but that's okay. In the future, that might be a possibility. I've reached out to Stitchco. They're down in Alabama. There's a number of other companies. There's a few in Florida. There's a few in Pennsylvania, Ohio, some other places, California, some other places. So there's actually quite a few. You just got to look, but they're out there. An extra grind. I can feel the fret ends and they're sharp AF. I don't think it's nut or bridge related. Huh. So the fret bars themselves are a little sharp. So hopefully they weren't shallow set. You could, I don't know, man. You might have to take it into a luthier and get it serviced and really have them look it over to see what's going on. Oh, hip shot. Okay. I don't know, man. With the fret bars, I mean, that's a whole other bear because, I mean, setting fret bars and stuff, that's a big pain in the ass. Tornado Survival, Linchpin. Hope you're doing well, Cody. Linchpin Supply. I need to find out where Cedar Sewing gets his from and then hit them up. Yeah, I need to ask him again, too. I know he does some of the tri-laminate stuff and all that. So I've hit up, I think, 4 or 5 mills so far. There's a bunch more. It's going to be a process hitting them all up. So I need to ask him again about where he gets them from because he didn't say last time I talked to him. But yeah, no, yeah, more than happy to reach out to all those. Yep, a lot of textiles in the South. Yep, and then Ohio, Pennsylvania, and all that. Yeah, everyone's saying hey to each other. Awesome, awesome. Yep. Yeah, it's a process. So, like I said earlier, I've got trademark, so the TM mark trademark, because filing and everything. So everything's good to go with USPTO and all that. But for the final assessment or overview that they do to get to the R mark, the fully registered mark and everything, I need to have at least one licensee on board within the next 6 months, um, to show that it's in active use. That's just part of USPTO, Patent and Trademark Office, uh, code and regulation and all that in order for a trademark to stay active. So I need to do that anyway. So, but yeah, I'm reaching out to anyone that I can here domestically that um, has the capability. So next grind is polishing fret ends a special skill that you would need to take to a special luthier. Should I just get a hold of Jackson? Um, Either or. Yeah, because you don't want to take too much material off, and then you'll have even more roll off of the string and stuff, which you're already having an issue with, apart from alongside that catching issue that you're having. Um, so yeah, if you have a good guitar tech guy or a luthier local to you that you could go to and talk to and kind of have them look at it, I would do that. Otherwise, if you want to contact Jackson, go ahead. Um, I don't know if they would have it. I don't know if they would just replace it for you. I don't know what kind of warranty you have. I don't know all that. It might be worth reaching out to them. I would look for Guitar Tech or Luthier first to look over it and give you a diagnosis of any issues and or if it could be easily fixed. And if not, then I would go to Jackson. But I think with a couple of things that can be done, like I said before, like doing a servicing to include a truss rod readjustment, relaxation, and readjustment, kind of playing with the bridge a little bit and some other things, you might be able to correct the issue. Here's a hoping anyway. Big Salkhead, hey, thanks for tuning in. Fire away with any questions or topics of discussion. Linchpin Supply, do a ski mask flash, just a bunch of different camo ski masks as a pattern and baklava flash. Yeah, I mean, well, and that's up to soft goods and clothing manufacturers and stuff. That's up to them what products they make and stuff, what they offer. But again, various uniforming soft goods gear companies and stuff, like, yeah, more than happy to work with them with and working with the mills to provide them the fabric type that they need, printed with the patterns and stuff. Like, yeah, I that's the ultimate goal, is to have it full spectrum with a line of different types of products with the patterns. And if a mill only wants to print a couple of the patterns, cool. I'm cool with that. But yeah, baklavas, masks, chest rigs, plate carriers, mag pouches, uniforms, like all that stuff. Like that's the goal with getting the patterns out there, is to get it on, made in getting all those products made with the patterns. So, and yeah, I just do licensing. So, 10 gauge. Hey dude, what's up, fucker? How you doing? Yep, and that's the thing. I'm only working, as of right now, I'm only trying to work with domestic production, US, very compliant US companies. I had talked to another company that does prototyping, because I do need some promotional marketing uniforms made in some of the patterns for for media marketing and things like that. Problem is their mill that they use is in China, and it was like, I can't do it. Not unless there are a lot of contracts and agreements in place that protect that intellectual property. But for me, I can't trust Chinese mills to do that, or the company. So unfortunately, I didn't work out with that guy. He was nice though. It was a good convo and everything. It's just they don't have U.S. logistics, so I can't do it. So I am prioritizing U.S. made first. Eventually, some European stuff as well. I would not mind working with like Verusta Leica, because they're very much in the European sense. Keeping it made in Europe, made in Finland, and all that. And I respect that a lot. That's what I like to see. So they uphold the European version of Berry compliance. So, but for now, U.S. companies. Linchpin. No, there's a couple of companies. Verusalika does the Sarma, Savada Sarma brands. They do make them for their stuff. I think it's either Rothko or Miltech. Miltech is a German Chinese joint company. They make some of that stuff for ski mask balaclavas with camo patterns. I think Rothko does too. I remember them making a woodland camouflage ski mask back in the day. I don't know if they do anymore, but again, that's Chinese made though. Reness Kitty, hello. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you're doing well. Ask any questions, fire away with any topics of discussion, questions. Engage, hell yeah. Yep. That's the focus. Oh, you got 15 inches of snow from that storm? We got about, I think, probably around 8 to 10 here last night. Yeah, exactly, Linchpin. Yeah, the Chinese will steal or copy it anyway, and that's how they are. Exactly. So I'm not going to, absolutely not going to work with any of them. Big Saw Cat, your chat stalled. Oh, dang. YouTube's been acting a little weird lately. They've been doing some updates and patches, I think, on the back end, and that's been slowing things down a bit. Pull the shogi, give it gas. Learn to sew, make your own balaclavas. Well, that's the thing. You still need material sourcing, so that's why I'm working with textile mills. Trying to license and work with textile mills here domestically to get my camo patterns printed on various kinds of fabrics. And I have all of the classes under trademark file and all that to do that with my patterns and my brand. So, whether it's Nyko ripstop for uniforms, like yes, that's what I want. The various deniers of Cordura nylon and all that for soft goods, like yes, I can print on those. The various other more thin elastine spandex type fabrics for balaclavas, acrylics, and stuff for ski masks, like that's all under there. So it's what the mills have to offer for materials, and then it's up to various companies, big and small, what they make with their product lines. So and then with certain mills that do retail to the public or work with other companies like Rocky Woods out in Colorado to sell yardage of material and various types of fabrics to the public, that's another bonus there too, because people can then buy yardage of material and make stuff with it. So Camo Fabric Depot does the same thing, but again, they're not able to do it right now. They were very cool about it. I love those guys. Great company over there. But same with Rocky Woods too. So if you want yardage of camouflage material, they've got it. And you can go buy from them. And it's provided from the mills to them, so they buy stock of it and then retail it. So that's how it works, whether it's on the production and business side of it or for personal purchase and making your own stuff. I don't do any retail, Big Saw Cat. I just do licensing. I do not have the logistics or capital to do manufacturing myself, nor do I want to. That's a lot of time and money that I don't have. I've already put in enough on getting this brand up and running. What I do is license with the various companies. So the mills for print production, distribution, retail, and then uniform gear companies and all that for branded production and retail of my camouflage patterns. So it's all royalties based for my end with licensing contracts. 10 gauge, copycats all in China. Yep. Ski masks, snow blowing today. Yeah. Yep. Got to get one. Linchpin, the Chinese even stole your shirt design with Risky Krisky. As soon as they see a picture of it, they will recreate it and steal it. They could try. That's the thing about my camo pattern. I have it scaled differently in the mock-ups for that reason, partly, but also they don't have the full swatch and they can't replicate it. Because the way that I made it, and it took years of development. I've been quietly doing everything for 3 years to get this to where it is. And with my camo patterns, the way mine are scaled, designed and sized and everything, it's in the appropriate width for textile, standard sheet material textile printing. And the length of it is 3 yards for a continuous portion before the pattern would start to repeat uh, 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 longwise. Um, it's called the brand is called FracT because it's basically abbreviated for fractal tactical. So it's a naturalized earth earth tone patterns, proper color palette, camouflage patterns, uh, fractal pattern when you look at it from afar in the full swatch. That's why I named the brand that I did. And it's a kind of abbreviate form, and then the full title, fractal spectral camouflage systems, because the entire swatch from afar it looks like a fractal, but it's totally naturalized. So because of the colors and everything blends into the environment. And then when it's scaled and then how it's cut, it's omnidirectional to be cut, but how it's scaled and everything, it gives greater randomization of pattern over the uniforms, and no two will be exactly the same, which is good for environmental blending. A lot of patterns to include multicam, M81 woodland, and all that. It's a linear repeating pattern that's then scaled longwise as well, but it just repeats. It has a smaller swatch section that ends up blending and repeating. With mine, it is a much larger swatch of randomized pattern that takes a long time for it to repeat in the printing process. And it blends flawlessly. When it does start repeating, it blends perfectly, just like any other camo pattern. But that's one of the benefits to my pattern over a lot of the other ones out there. So, Linchpin, we only use USA companies for the shirt too. Chinese don't care; they just see and steal. Yeah, exactly. And that's good. I'm glad you're focusing on domestic production too. And that's what I'm doing. Big Saw Cat, right on. Yeah. I spent a lot of time, a lot of work to make it unique, original, and optimized for like superior function. For a visual cable. An extra grind side topic, but did you know that Task Force Bruiser was working in Baghdad in 07? Yep, I knew. Yep, we ran into them, and then we had so I was at Camp Al Soccer, Fob Falcon, whatever you want to call it. We also had contingents of 5th Group, which my cousin was in at the time, and the SIF, Commanders and Extremist Force, that Mike Glover was in. They were in and out of our base too. So yeah. Oh yeah. No, well aware that they were operating around. Yeah. Big Saw Cat rocking the Phantom Leaf ZA3 in Wilmington, North Carolina currently, but I'm on board to try new camo. Hell yeah. Dude, the Phantom Leaf patterns are really good. I'm very impressed with those. Miltech Phantom Leaf. They have a good system. Those are very functional camos. It is a German Chinese company. So they are printed and manufactured between Europe and China. It's really the only downfall I see to them, but otherwise the Phantom Leaf patterns are awesome. I'm very impressed with them, and they work well. And a lot of options and variants that work in a lot of environments. So they're good. But I can't wait to get my patterns on the market. It's a process, like it's been quite a bit of time, obviously, getting the brand started to where it is and started. And it's a process now that some of the hardest part and a lot of the initial money investment is over with USPTO filing, which I have an awesome lawyer for that and everything. All that legal T's crossed, I's dotted stuff is out of the way. Now it's the lengthy process of the networking, facilitation, building rapport, and trying to get licensees on board to print and produce the camouflage patterns. So, we'll get there for sure. We'll get there. It's just a process. Nothing's going to happen overnight unless a company is really gung-ho about getting on board right away. Which, if that happens in short order, awesome. Super stoked for that. But, I understand, and, you have to keep a realistic mindset about it, and you have to understand that, everything's a process, and you will be grinding, kind of no matter what. You did fabrics for 15 years, mostly wool. Sweet. Wool is king. But it will get done. Yeah, absolutely. And anyone out there, you include your cat, include yourself, Big Saw Cat. If you got connections in the textile industry at any of the U.S. mills, let them know. Reach out and be like, hey, really cool stuff here. They need to license with some companies, so spread the word. And that goes for everyone. Spread the word. Insofar as social media marketing for the Camo brand, I've got the website up and stuff. I'll be starting, I think next week, I'll be starting an Instagram page just for the Camo brand for marketing and stuff. At some point, I'll get the YouTube channel up and running too. Once I get some promotional uniforms made up for marketing and promotions to make commercial and things like that. Small batch stuff, just a couple of uniforms and a couple of the patterns, just to be able to do that and showcase with that. And so I've been working on that end too, trying to get a hold of companies to make a small number of uniforms to be able to do showcase for media production and things like that. Pat Klein, Synthetic Mill, York, Pennsylvania. Okay. I'll reach out to them too. I'll try and remember that. I'll come back to this chat if I need to. But yeah, hell yeah. Awesome. I reached out to Feshheimer over there in Pennsylvania too. Haven't heard back from them. And that's okay. They work with Vertex. But yeah, so it's a process. So Lynchpin, nah, fuck that. Get the government contract, homie. New Army uniforms 20. So I have some associates. Some of them are major players in the defense contract industry for textile and materials. So some heavy hitters there who are associates of mine who are helping me facilitate. They're going through their Rolodexes of companies and people that they can reach out to in order to do some of that contract as well. I mean, if a small contingent of USASOC wants some uniforms, fuck yeah, let's contract. I'll give them a good deal. Because I want it to be in the hands of our competent warfighters. As much as the civilian side of the consumer market, the huge civilian side of the consumer market. I've got another associate who worked on some pretty heavy hitter programs as well, to include with infrared and radar reduction and absorption with textile materials in a couple of programs in the past. So that facilitation to textile companies that have the dyes for making IR and NIR compliant fabrics is on the table. So that's a process too. So I've working all the angles, so it's a process, but yeah. Teresa Buchanan, hello. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for joining. Any questions, topics of discussion, fire away. Glad you're here. But yeah, so a lot of stuff trying to get in the works. So it's all on the businesses, whether they want to license and stuff, and what contracts can be viable there. So I've got some really, really good, solid, heavy hitter people behind the scenes helping facilitate things. They're not employees; they're just associates, but their pull is huge. I can't reiterate how huge it is on the back end. So it's promising. So I'm looking forward to when some of that comes to fruition. So Joe Morgan, okay, back now. Any breakfast? Hadn't eaten all day. Stuck in 0-degree weather. Oof, yep. Idaho's gnarly right now. I'm glad you're not sick anymore, though, dude. I'm glad you're feeling better. Well, the civilian side usually does R&D and ends up being what changes military tech to a degree. I mean, if it's not with NATIC or DARPA or whatever, yeah, it's coming from the civilian sector. But I mean, there's a lot on the government side too with that, and then the contractors involved with there as well. So I'd say it's probably close to 60-40, 50-50 as far as that development goes. Hit the like button. Oh, thank you. Appreciate the support. Pilgrim, hey dude, thanks for tuning in. Any questions, topics of discussion, fire away. Everyone say hey to each other. Awesome. Enjoy class today. Joe, you naughty boy. Cheers, everyone. It's just water. Hydrate. So yeah, a lot in the works. I'm full swing trying to get things done, So it's on, I'm doing my due diligence and I'm trying everything I can and being persistent without, obviously without being aggressive or anything, but motivated, but it's ultimately it's on the companies for any potential licensees, so if they see value in it, if they're able to take on a commercial scale licensing contract and all that, awesome, Iodine tap water. No, this is from the tap here. It is heavily chlorinated, but very heavy water up here. A lot of minerals in our water, which is good, but at the same time, it wreaks havoc on the pipes and stuff. But it's kind of necessary, and just inherent to the natural clean water we have up here. Joe, silly goose. Damn, almost 45 minutes in already. Time is flying. Y'all got me talking. That's good though. That's good. That's good topics of discussion. Good questions. Good things to talk about. Absolutely. More people coming in. Awesome. Welcome everyone. If you have a question, a topic of discussion, fire away in the chat and say hello. I don't bite too hard. But yeah, anything else? Anything else? Fire away. New Eldarion album. So for those that like epic metal and fantasy music, fantasy metal, the Eldarion album will release on Friday, February 28th. So just 2 weeks from now. Working on some other stuff right now too with music stuff. But yeah. An Axe to Grind picked up a Boss Katana Gen 3 Artist Series 100-watt head with 212 Waza cab. Outstanding amp. Oh, nice. Very nice. Yep, those are pretty cool. I'm using for Aposticum, so the only band right now that plays live, using an EVH 5153 head and then matching cab, EVH cab. And then our lead guitarist uses an angle head. I forget exactly what submodel, and then he's got a Vader cab for it. Oh, the thing is mean. That's sick though, dude. I bet it sounds great. Joe, you goofball. And then my personal amp, amp head, I like the Line 6 Spider 4. I've got the Line 6 Spider 4 120. I need a new cab though, because I had a leftover cab from an old rig, but they're not compatible. So I need to get a new cab, sell that old cab, and get a new cab for it. Different wattages. Joe. Silly Billy. Anything else? Keep firing away. Questions, topics of discussion. 45 minutes in already. That's awesome. I go for about 2 hours on these live streams. Because then usually rounds up right about the time I make dinner. So works out. So yeah, fire away. Anything else you got? Anything else you got? Demo Man Don had a Frankenstein setup back in the day. Fender Jazz Bass. PV head. Sun cabinet. Oh, retro. Yeah, my old cab is a Fender FM 412 for the I think it's a Roadmaster. So it's actually supposed to be paired with a Roadmaster head. But I was running a Blue Voodoo Crate BV 120H through it. Which I shouldn't have because they were different wattages, but tube amps are a little more forgiving. And that thing still runs great. But yeah, good cab. Yeah. I need to sell that one though, because I don't have anything compatible for it. Big Saw Cat, Norwegian metal you should listen to. Dude, there is so much. Dude, there's so much Norwegian black metal. Or just Norwegian metal in general. Give me a second. I'll give you a couple. Boom. Okay. Hordem Rife. Hordem Rife. A bit of an edgy name for a band, but they're excellent Norwegian black metal. You got Misotheist, also fantastic. There's so much good stuff. Skugaheim, if you like a little bit more raw stuff. Korniger. There's so much. If you go to like Encyclopedia Metallum, the Metal Archives, and you just search by country, in their advanced lookup, you will get a list of what they approve of for metal. All of the metal bands in Norway. If you look for Norway, you will get every band, and then you can search for what's an active band and what isn't, like all that. It is the best resource out there for a database for metal bands. So check that out. Encyclopedia Metallum, the Metal Archives. Best resource you're going to get. Just about any band you could think of that is typical metal. They don't accept a lot of like your new metal bands, which, you know, any rational person doesn't listen to much new metal anyway. And then like deathcore, they don't do a lot of deathcore stuff otherwise. But your death metal, your thrash metal, your black metal, your symphonic, your epic metal, doom metal, like everything else. Encyclopedia Metallum. That's going to be your best resource. Then my man Don, it wasn't retro and I played it, you damn Hey. I guess I am technically a millennial. I was born in the 80s. On that cusp, I guess. Hey, I'm not saying retro rigs are bad, man. They still choose. I mean, we use tube amps. We're still using tube amps for the band because tonally, in that tone chasing aspect, like they're still some of the best. I love my Line 6 as solid state, but the tone in it is awesome. And I use Line 6s for a lot of music stuff, but tube amp heads, especially for live and in the studio, are excellent rigs still. Nothing wrong with them. Big Suckhead, like hard Viking shit. Skulder would be one, or Skuld. There's Swedish, but they have Norwegian members too. But it's a Viking black metal. Um, there's some of that out there too. And then like I said, like my project Eldarion is like Tolkien themed epic metal. So if you like bands like that, there's a bunch in like Scotland and stuff too. Switzerland, like Ken Bard. You got Sour in Scotland. You got Rua in Scotland. You've got Caladan Brood, who put out one album and basically disappeared for a while. They're out of Salt Lake City. Echoes of Battle, fantastic album. Love that album. You've got Eldamar. They're from Norway. Eldamar. They're really good. I highly recommend them. They're kind of in that vein. Yeah, stuff like that. It's good stuff. And Extra Grind, you got accepted into trade school. Hell yeah, dude. Congrats. That's awesome. Hoping to be working on power lines. Ooh, that is good pay and good benefits. Yeah. Lineman work is really good money. A little dangerous, but it's really good money. I mean, you can't beat it. I know a dude that works in the energy sector on the wind farms. He makes really good money too. Big Cell Cat, cut it to basics, right? You're a Ronnie James Dio kind of dude. Oh, like old school heavy metal. Kind of moving into glam and hair a little bit, but more so just heavy metal. Rest in peace, Ronnie James Dio. Joe. Big Cell Cat, some of them good. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, that whole scale of bands is just fantastic. I love them. Just complex compositions. You're getting that element of classical music, but then you're getting that just awesomeness and veracity and everything of metal. It's a great subgenre. Yep, trades is the way. Brendan, thanks for tuning in. Big Cell Cat, 80s, 90s. You can't go wrong. And Exit Grind, thanks fam. Looking forward to it. Big change, but damn, need some money, dude. Real. Trying to get this camo brand taken off. I mean, so with my normal job, because I work as a senior security advisor for a number of companies in a 1099 status, subcontract status. Unfortunately, it's really only been seasonal lately. They don't do a whole lot, especially at the end of the year and then during the winter season. But like with the quarterly ends, the year ends and stuff, like clients aren't doing much. So then the companies aren't doing much when it comes to the advising and consulting stuff. So I'm kind of relegated to it late spring through summer and early autumn. And then, I've got to do other things to supplement income. So I feel you there. Focusing on the camo brand stuff, if I can make this a full-time thing, I'm going to. And then obviously I do graphic design as well. So graphic design commissions as they come along and all that. And then all the music stuff, that's as much a hobby as it is a labor of love that does provide some income as well, secondary income as well, which is cool. Like all that, put your finger in multiple pies. If you got ideas, you got concepts, make them happen. Apart from having a good job, I enjoy my job. The companies that I work with and stuff, but like, at the same time, you can get kind of bored, and then you have all that downtime. Apart from doing conflict monitoring and things like that, other standard consulting and advising stuff, and whatnot, throughout the year. But again, it's intermittent work, so I got to balance it with other stuff. So tube amps sound the best, Demo Mandon. I do love tube amps. I hate lugging them around playing shows though. They're heavy as hell, and they just more can break on them. I do love them though. My personal rig, I prefer the Line 6, but like for a Boscom and like, other stuff, like, yeah, tube amps are the way to go. Good tone. You get some good EL34 tubes in there, and they're just screaming, and they're just pissed off amps, and they're good stuff. Big Cell Cat, fuck yeah. Jared, hey bro. Thanks for coming in. Yep. Rip RJD. Legend. Tim Harper. Hey, dude. Thanks for tuning in. Questions, topics of discussion. That's for everyone new coming in here. Throw them in the chat. We'll talk about it. Thanks, Dan. Demoman Don. I appreciate it. I hope it takes off too. Jared. Yep. 5150 gang. Yep. Yeah. For Poscom, I'm using the EVH 5153. That's our bassist John's rig. And he's been gracious enough to lend it to us to use for the time being. Probably going to go back to the Blue Voodoo actually for that project for live, because with the EL34s in it, it is just mean. But yeah, my personal rig, the Line 6, like I said before, Line 6 Spider 4, but they don't like mixing the solid state with the tube for the project, which I understand. So we'll use tube amps. Yeah, doing my damnedest to get the freaking camo brand off the ground. I only need one or two companies to license with to really get it to take off, So between what my associates are doing, trying to help, and what I'm doing to try and get companies on board, that's what I'm trying to do. So it's a process. The more people put it out there, the more people talk to their associates and talk to their network and reach out to companies and be like, hey, I want your uniforms in this pattern or whatever. That's going to do nothing but help. So, it's good PR anyway. So, and I'll have more PR in the form of marketing with socials and things like that coming up here soon too, apart from the website. So, oof. Probably as bad as a peanut butter shot, huh, Joe? Big Saw Cat, push antibiotics, not to change subject. Just got over pneumonia. Well, I'm glad you got over it. That could be a bitch. I've had pneumonia before. It's not fun. And you all need meds on point. Yep, absolutely. There's a couple of those companies. It's not just Jace, but there's a couple of companies like Jace Medical out there that you can do the whole, get antibiotics through them. It's not cheap per se, but it's worth it to have. And then when you do have prescription, stock up on them apart from what you need to take for your schedule to, get over whatever illness you're dealing with or whatever, stock up on it. But yeah, other things in the field like anti-diarrheal medication, which you can just get, off the shelf at a Walgreens or whatever, like that stuff's important too. Metal for breakfast. Hey, dude. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah. Medications. No, they ain't cheap, but I mean, yeah, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of whatever however the adage goes. It's an old adage. I can't remember it exactly. My brain's kind of going a million miles a minute with everything getting talked about right now. So, but you know what I mean. No, dude, the needle the size of an ice pick that shove your ooh, ouch. That's no fun. Demo Man Don, you have a case of the ass. You don't think there's a cure? More rest and relaxation. Some Mai Tais on the beach, right? Joe Morgan, Jason Scan, take insurance. I didn't expect that they would take insurance. Stuff you need isn't in the kit. Antibiotics are for bacterial infections. Antivirals are for viral issues. So no, they don't cross over. Antivirals are as far as for various illness-based viruses, like those are harder to get, and there's not much is insofar as medications for those. So, George Washington, did anyone attend Winter Forge this year at SNS Training Solutions? I did not. I missed it, unfortunately. Time and money, you know. I know Brent went because we were talking. I was talking with Brent, and he did go. I don't know of anyone else that went. Will Sherlin, Gutter Fighting Secrets, he's not even in the country. He's living abroad. I won't say where or anything. That's his business. But yeah, he didn't go either. So, and I know they do it every other year now. They don't do it every other year now for Winter Forge. So 2027 will be the next Winter Forge. So if anyone does want to go, it's worth it to go. If you have the time and money, it's worth it. Tech by V1, hey dude, thanks for tuning in. Lurk away. Ask a question if you got it. Topic of discussion, whatever. We're an hour in, got another hour for shooting the breeze, jaw jacking. And next grind. What's the difference between tampons and cowboy hats? Cowboy hats are for assholes. That was a good one. Big Salt Cat, you got a beach house? Dang. Hell yeah. Everyone's saying hey to each other. Awesome. Wilmington and thongs. Nice. Joe, it's born exactly because also started antibiotics for viral infection, not knowing the difference. Well, and that's why you have skilled medical people on in your circles, right? At least you should. Dealing with a virus is more difficult, though. Yeah. George Washington, they need a sister school somewhere in the swamplands. So Charlie Company is getting started up in Florida by One Shepherd. So keep an eye out for that. I don't know if they've officially announced anything as far as when it'll be officially open and when dates are starting for courses, but One Shepherd Leadership Institute's Charlie Company is in Florida, so they're working on it. Big Saw Cat, all messed up goth metal girls with black hair. Hey, they're the best. They're the best. Demoranch is one of your least favorite gun slap channels to ever exist, but you're glad Max succeeded and wish him the absolute best. Oh, absolutely. He's doing very well, bunker branding and some of the other endeavors that he's involved with and stuff. I mean, him wanting to focus on family, good on him. You know, he said he's thinking about possibly going back to being a veterinarian. Good on him. You know, I hope that he keeps the ranch, the resort and everything. I hope that he keeps it because that could be a very successful business with his name still attached to it. Unless he sells it to someone else or a group of people like in that circle that can make it do well with the presence that they have. It's a big resort, so and they've been putting a lot of work into it, so hopefully they keep it going. Texas is a fun place. George Washington, when is the next album drop? February 28th. So 2 Fridays from now is when the Eldarion albums drop. So a full version with vocal and everything, and then an instrumental version of the album. We're releasing both at the same time digitally. Anthracite Records, the German label that we work with for CDs, they're a little bit behind, so the CDs won't be available right away, but it'll be digital purchase, download, streaming on Bandcamp and all major streaming platforms at that time. That's the next album drop. Decoherence, we're starting a new album for probably the end of the year release. If not next year, maybe probably the end of this year if we move kind of quick on it. Aposticum, we're in studio right now for a first full-length album for that. I just had a couple of releases with some of the other projects, like the Anointing Maelstrom and stuff. So nothing else there really. The Eldarion one is going to be a big one. We put a lot of work into it. Spent almost 2 years working on the album, writing everything, full written out compositions, sheet music tabs, everything, and then tracking everything and yeah, tracking, recording everything, and doing everything. Put a lot of work into it, and that project does well, and I'm really excited about it. Probably one of the best things I've ever done as a musician. And it just insofar as musical, just composition, competency, like all that, and then just how it's put together and everything. You've heard the one demo track on my channel. If anyone hasn't heard it, there is a demo single for the song "Visions of the Elves" that is on that album. Go listen to it because it's epic as hell. The whole album's like that. So yeah, I'm really excited about it. I'm very proud of it. Yeah, that's the next one coming. Next ground, he shut down Bunker Branding a while back. Did he? Thought it was still going. As far as I know, because I mean, he makes shirts for all those gun tubers and stuff, so I would assume that it's still running. Joe, best thing to do as a sympathetic doctor, talk to your dad's doctor during the Rona, explaining one antibiotics. Yeah, straight through shorts. Yeah. If you've got good medical peeps in your circles, then good to go. Demo Man Don, Stoker has some training coming up in March. Yeah, good. I'm glad. Stoker's been doing well with the courses. I'm happy for him. Joe Morgan. Well, Leviathan Group is a little bit shady, and how they do some things, but it is what it is. The topic was brought up, just my perspective on that one little bit. So some of the other stuff, it's whatever. Some of those channels I don't really watch, and whatever. Occasionally, if a video comes along where it's that's interesting, I'll watch it. But those aren't really the channels that I watch, though. Yep, Stoker's in Georgia. Yep. George Washington, I'll do both, especially for CDs. Pretty excited. Hell yeah, dude. Awesome. Yeah, CDs will probably take a couple more weeks after the digital release of stuff. And then yeah, but we're working on it. That'll be awesome when it comes. And then with the other projects like Decoherence and stuff, so we do CDs, vinyl, and cassette through Sentient Ruin Laboratories for the Decoherence project. So you can go to their website or their Bandcamp or whatever if you want stuff from Decoherence. Some of the other projects like the Anointing Maelstrom is pretty much cassette only in small doses for a couple of releases. There's only a few projects, and then Pythonism, we do CDs. We work with Vargeist Records, my buddy Justin, out in his label out in South Carolina. So Pythonism on their Bandcamp, we have CDs for that as well, and then through Vargeist Records on their Bandcamp and their website as well, you can get Pythonism CDs. But that's about it. Otherwise, everything else is pretty much digital. Yeah, I'm excited about the Eldarion release. It's good. It's gonna be awesome. Big Socket, actually, fuck it. DJ, you want to get sponsored to go do the Seer? Oh, Randall Seer Challenge. So I help on the back end with some stuff. Like I've done music production for him for that, and like some other things. My brand, my Camel brand, I think for the next one that he does after the one that he just finished, I'll probably end up being one of the sponsors as well. Not that I'm going to be able to like offer much, but Fractal Camouflage, Fractal Spectral Camouflage Systems will probably be one of the sponsors for the next Seer Challenge, alongside the Winter Warfare and all that. I've done Seer before. No desire to do it again. So, as far as being a participant like that. DJ, when are you going to be on the Focus Trip podcast? I'm honestly not all that familiar with who that is. Don't watch them, so I don't know. If they reach out and say that they want to have me on, cool, I'll go on. But I think I've seen. I saw the one. I think it was him. There was the one video. Was it like about like SDI or something like that? I don't know. I saw that one. I think. Oh, and then the one. No, it was the one. No, it might have been the SDI one, but I think the one about the Jackal and it being out of spec, the PSA Jackal, which was a big eye opener. Otherwise, I don't really know the guy. I don't watch him, so otherwise. Demo Man Don. There's a 24-hour Three Stooges channel to watch when you're tired of stuff. Yeah, there is. There's a lot. Kings of Horror, awesome channel here on YouTube, and they just put up horror movies, like Threads, the old British movie Threads. They have it licensed. It's free to watch on YouTube, but they put a bunch of horror movies and stuff up and stuff, and I love it. Music, a lot of music on YouTube. Listen to and watch a lot of like music stuff on YouTube. And then there's the group of channels and the homies' channels I watch, like Modern Frontiersman and all those guys, Brent, 0331 and all that. Like those are all homies, and I watch their channels. You know, that's the good content and the pertinent information that people should be watching. All that kind of stuff. And like homesteading. I watch that Eric Grandqvist guy over in Sweden who built his own cabin. I like his channel. Like stuff like that. Like, yeah. A whole mix of things. Yeah, Joe. Yeah. I mean, they backpedaled on that pretty hard after the fact too. And yes, the Stooges are hilarious and are good anytime. Yeah, definitely. Extra Grind, Focus Trip does decent streams. He had Dugan. I know Dugan, or of Dugan. Yeah. Doug. His new channel is great. John Picone, not familiar with that name. Cokeman 2423, not familiar with him either. Again, there's a lot of those channels I just don't watch, whether it's just like, if it's too overproduced and they're going off of a script, like that's kind of a turnoff for me, honestly. This ain't Hollywood, you know. I like off the cuff stuff. I like a little bit more raw. Like, yeah, you can do some editing, but like a little bit more raw. As far as gun content and everything is, you know, more natural, more in tune with everyday people in a lot of ways, or resident professionals who have a lot of experience, but just do that kind of style and don't overproduce things. Insofar as that kind of video content on YouTube, a lot of that stuff I just don't care about, you know. I don't know. There's so many channels out there. I mean, there's only so many. I already have so many that I'm freaking subscribed to, and it includes like all the music channels and labels and things like that, and bands and everything. And there's only so much I can watch. So I mean, no, not familiar with them. It's like somebody brought it up to me the other day. Hopfloflyle or whatever, however you pronounce it. I'd never seen a single one of his videos. Not interested. Yeah, Demo Man Don. There's so many channels to watch. You can't possibly do them all. Yeah, exactly. You know, I've got what I like that I watch and all that, and again, it's not nearly all of it is like, you know, gun and tactical stuff and all that. I mean, there is that community and homesteading and preparedness and everything. Obviously, there is that community there, and there's channels that I watch. But if it's like just gun stuff and it's dudes just regurgitating weapon specs and stuff, I don't care. I use what I use. I like what I like. And then in a professional context, you know, you're issued what you're issued. You don't have a say in it. You use what you use. You know, you use what you got, and you got to make do. you know. Like, I understand technical nuances and everything, you know, I get all that, but I'm not going to watch a channel that just regurgitates that stuff that I already know, and just it's just not interesting. Yeah, smaller channels are more authentic, Joe. Absolutely. Actually learn something that you're interested in. Yeah. You got experience that you bring to the table. Kentucky Ballistics is fun. I do watch him. He's just he's just a wholesome dude, you know, family guy. Um yeah, overabundance of content. So now the question is, okay, you've got all this information. How are you applying it for yourself? Because you're not seeing a lot of people doing that. You see a lot of comments and a lot of people this and that. They're not making videos showing them putting it in an application or even otherwise, you know. They just watch and digest it, and then they don't do anything with it, you know. It's a lot of people out there, you know. So it's like, okay, there is a plethora of information just on YouTube, not to mention other places, but like, okay, you've got the information now. What are you going to do with it? You know, how are you going to apply it to your life and make it and you know, use what you need to fit your needs, and understand that there's many ways to skin a cat, so to speak, you know. So there's what do you do with that information? It's out there now. Go forth, you know. Oh man, channels about gun specs can get pretty dry. It's like sitting through the theory part of a training class. Yeah, to an extent, you know. And it's just like, I don't know. A lot of those kinds of channels too do a lot of product shilling, and you know, um, to an extent, okay, yeah, there's, you know, wanting to uh, you know, discover new companies and brands out there. That's awesome. I love that, you know. But getting stuff or getting paid to uh I don't know. I don't see YouTube as broadcast television, you know. I'm used to the old YouTube still, you know. I liked it better then. I know a lot of people did. Um all the commercials and ads and everything, like, ads are annoying. They just are, you know. But to showcase a new brand, to showcase something actually interesting, okay, that's cool, you know. But just, you know, if it's not from the source, you know, and it's just a regurgitation of things, um, and all that, like, that's it, again, it's a balance, you know, and like a lot of that is just a turn off. Theory is fine, um, as long as people talking theory know what they're talking about. Because and I brought that up in one of my last videos. Like, there's a lot of people out there talking about stuff that have no business talking about it because they've never had experience doing the things. Um, um, or even gone through enough advanced courses to understand what they're talking about. Some channels are better about bringing on you know, resident professionals, and people that do have experience about it. But even then, it's, you know, putting that information across in a fairly limited scope, but also just, you know, that I have a problem with channels like that too. Yeah, exactly, exactly, Joe. You know, I've got people that are gunsmiths. Got people that have their businesses and things like that. Like, they're good at what they do, and all that. You know, aside from being professional end users, you know. Um, yeah. Hexagon product shilling is a scourge on both GunTube and GuitarTube. Pretty much every consumer market is plagued with YouTube shilling. Yeah, to an extent. I mean, and again, if there's genuinely something new and cool and effective and useful, and that's subjective to the viewer and the end user and consumer, um, then it's cool. But like, ads for the most random shit and just like all that, like doing ad reads and everything, like, God, I hate that. I hate that. And I've said it in community posts recently again. I will never do that. You know, if I'm going to sponsor, if I'm going to do a sponsored thing for my channel, it's going to be my own damn camo company to sponsor myself. You know, but it's I don't. The videos are like my videos that I do, like a piece of kit or whatever. It's something that I use. I've bought with my own money and I use. And I go, hey, I find value in this. This is actually useful. I'm sure some other people out there also use this or will find this useful to some degree. From an end user standpoint, like a consistent, real world applied end user standpoint, you know. When it's just to do it, again, apart from the nuance of, hey, it's actually useful or whatever, like, you know. Demo Man Don, your channel is old tube. Hell yeah, dude. I loved old YouTube, the Wild West, man, and it was awesome. The golden era. Metal for breakfast, weaponized autism. Yeah, the whole autism quip thing too. That kind of there's a lot of people out there. No, you don't have autism. I don't know why. I don't know why you would think that would be a good thing to claim to have. When it's a legitimate genetic and medical thing. Like I get the quip about it, but at the same time, it's like, dude, just be you, you know, like people get in the weeds about all kinds of stuff, but it's just like, okay, how much of that is actually applicable or necessary or useful, you know? Because there's a lot of people talking stuff that aren't applying it, you know. You may know everything about this XYZ weapon system and blah 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 blah, but then they don't own one or they don't use it or whatever it is. Yeah, spam call looks like, you know, or whatever. And that's what I was getting at before too. It's like, hey, okay, there's all this information out there. Are you gonna apply it or not? You know. American Outlaw YouTube is the only way the gun company could advertise to the public. YouTube costs a boatload to produce, so the value is both ways. If it's on my channel, it's worth it. If it's not, or isn't, or I say. Weird phrasing at the end of that. Also, thanks for tuning in to American Outlaw. It's one of the ways, but I mean, they're obviously with censorship and everything, they're heavily restricted as is, you know. With what they can do for advertising anymore. I mean, that's also why there's gun expos, gun shows, and gun stores, and all that too. And I mean, there's other platforms for marketing in that sense as well. But unfortunately, it's just a touchy subject for YouTube because they're stupid, you know, and they don't understand that, hey, it's a inherent right, as at least as Americans, you know. And they actively go against a constitutional right, but it's not about the rights of the firearms per se. It's about how people go about it sometimes, and especially like again, there's just a lot of channels out there that are not worth watching because, you know, whatever XYZ reason that I mentioned before. And like that's just the thing with me, and some people agree here, and that's fine. And if you disagree, that's fine too. Everyone's got their own opinion. That's totally fine. Super overproduced channels, I don't like watching them in large. I don't. Going off a script, no, I don't like it. You know, if it's more natural, off the cuff, you're showing mistakes, you're showing your thought, your thought process, you're showing a number of other things, and then applying and doing the things, and you know all that stuff. And coming from an experience base with end use of something, you know, that holds a lot more value. Yeah, same hexagram. I don't get or like the autism meme thing. Middle nose bounds, Joe. Hexagram. Anybody have experience with Sons of Liberty Gunworks? Not personally. No. Joe, it's been the biggest argument. Ask Metal. Call people out all the time for being a bunch of Karens that aren't actually going to do anything. FSHTF. Yep, I've done videos on that before too, talking about that. Oh, I'm going to do this and this and this. Blah blah blah. No, you're not. Most people don't have the mental fortitude for it. Let alone are proficient enough in all of their skills and abilities, not just weapons handling, to be able to sustain and survive in a worst case situation. Most people don't have the mental conditioning and that neurological physical training mechanism and response mechanism to be able to do it. I've talked about that in videos before. No. It's the same with just information in general being put out there. The information's out there. Okay, what are people doing? You see a lot of comments. You don't see a lot of those people making the comments. Small group of them have channels, but most of them don't have channels. Most of them aren't applying it at all. They're just putting their 2 cents out there. And then that's it. They're not applying all of the useful information out there. That's a problem. Yes, an hexagram. It's because of laws passed in several states, and it was at least for federal level for a while. I mean, that's getting overturned, but like having to be 21 or whatever. Yeah, that's common now, unfortunately, for all firearm websites. Yep. Joe Morgan get in trouble all the time with the more conservative in the prepper world because they aren't actually about freedom. They're just Karens who say they value freedom until it comes to blows. There's a proportion of that crowd that is absolutely like that. Yes. So anybody who's been in a conflict zone, been in a third world country, been in a series of environments and situations like that, and to include severe disaster situations, understand a lot more. They've had that raw experience. Some of them have had training, some of them have not, especially when it comes to disasters. They happen. Nothing you can do about it. And now you have to deal with the ramifications. But that's what it is. That people majority of people are not adequately training mentally, physically, and skills wise, for any number of things. They're not. It's just a matter of fact. Metal for breakfast. Supposed to be 4 degrees tonight. Yep. I think it's actually with wind chill right now. I think it's probably about -5 or -10 here. So on the other side of the pond. Yep. In hexagram, live in Nevada. When boomers talk about more freedoms, all they mean is they want to drive without seatbelts and fuck hookers without condoms. I mean, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, right? Rules for thee, but not for me. Yep. It's catch-22. Joe Morgan, key argument for the better part of a decade is that it's not just conservative Jesus people that want to enforce their beliefs on you and don't actually care about freedom. I mean, that's part of it. You see it in a lot of groups, especially right now. Where like, yeah, absolutely on point. You see it with a lot of groups right now, though, especially. Joe Morgan, metal, it's 4 degrees here now. Goofball. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Good discussion here. It's important stuff. Man, making time fly. We got about 30 minutes left in my live stream here. It's good stuff. Yeah, back to some of the rules being put on the books and then that have been taken off the books. It's whatever. But like, um, the left got all freaked out about Roe versus Wade. Okay, now it's in the hands of the state. Okay, it is specified in one of the later amendments in the Constitution where anything that's not handled by the federal government is handled by the state. Okay, so the states are dealing with it. When the states become overburdening and want to interfere in someone's personal health care, yeah, that can be a problem. But at the same time, it's like, are we trying to write it with other laws? Are we trying to right some wrongs? Yeah. We're trying to get rid of some of that overbearing and overburden of government regulation on people, which I'm all for. An axe to grind. I don't even know what freedom means anymore. My only major concern is this flood of illegals and the overt anti-white policies and attitudes from the ruling class, quote unquote. Immigration is an issue, and that's one of the things that we're trying to work on and fix. Kind of what I just alluded to. With the anti-ICE protests and stuff that you see right now, people waving Mexican flags and like all that stuff. It's like, you want to be an American, right? You're in America. You want to be an American. Why aren't you waving American flags? Having cultural heritage pride is fine. National pride should probably be with the country that you're desperately trying to get into and stay in, right? Acclimation and acculturation. Anyone who went to college knows what I'm talking about. If they've never heard those terms before, you can look them up. It's like, hey, when in Rome, do as the Romans do, right? To use an adage, in a very basic way, And again, when it comes to attitudes of the quote unquote ruling class and Congress and all that stuff, we're trying to fix that stuff. We are. It's not going to happen overnight, though. It's going to take a lot more sensible and reasonable people to actually get into positions to be able to fix things and make the right choices. Which, unfortunately, a lot of people begging for the job are getting it instead of people that are right for the job. Pineapple, famous. Mr. A, thanks for tuning in. Questions, comments, topics, fire away in the chat. Exactly, Pilgrim. Support the country you live in, or live in the country that you support. Yeah, very well said. And with the illegal immigrants that are being deported back to places like Mexico and other countries, imagine if all the effort that they put in trying to come here and all that stuff. Imagine the effort that they put in their home country. If they put that effort in there, they could actually make some positive change and make them some really cool places to be. I mean, in the past, working and traveling to places in Central and South America, they were cool. The food was great. Plenty of nice people. You can make it better. You can promote a lot of good tourism. You can start awesome businesses. The people in the governments just have to get their heads out of their asses, fix things, get rid of the cartels, diminish organized crime. You see what El Salvador's done. Now, some of the systemics with that, I won't get into, but you see what's happened there. Some of the lowest crime in the world now. Now that they've locked all the bad guys up, you can make it a great place. You really can. And I'm all for that. Make Mexico great. The Mexicans for Mexico, make it great. Gladly tour there. I've been there before. I would love to go again. Not on work, detail. I love the food. I mean, there's so many cool places to go and see. There's a lot of history. I mean, it's like, come on, you you fix it. You can. You don't have to run away from the problem because when you do it the wrong way, present time, that's what happens. An axe to grind. They don't want to be American. They hate Americans. Exactly, and that's a problem. So why are they here then? No, they don't hide the animosity. So then it's like, okay, that needs to be fixed. And it's being corrected with, deportation and all that other stuff. It's like, okay, it's cool. Again, it's cool to have cultural heritage pride and be proud of where you came from. I'm very proud of my ancestors coming from Norway and Denmark and Germany and Scotland. Hell, I've got a freaking Scottish clan tattoo of my family clan. Like, yeah, I'm proud of that. But I'm an American first and foremost, and I'm proud to be an American. If you're going to come here and want to be an American, you should be an American. Be proud to be an American. Like I said before, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. Follow our laws, and just be a good person. Plenty of opportunity, but you got to do things the right way and just be a decent human being. It's not hard. Tuck by V1. If I move to another land for any length of time, for any reason, wouldn't even display the flag of my homeland inside my house. I mean, that's a personal choice. If you're a Mexican or a German or you came from that country or those countries or you're wherever, yeah, okay, you can be proud to be that. But if you're going to be an American, be proud to be an American. You fly your home flag. That's fine. Put it, hang it up in your house, whatever. That's cool. That's cool. America is a melting pot, and no problems with that. None whatsoever. Just be a decent person and embrace, acclimate, and acculturate to the country that you're going to be in. Again, people don't know those terms, look them up. Same adage that I said, twice before. Pilgrim, tired of seeing liberals waving the Ukraine flag. Go there, join their army. I mean, yeah, the invitation's open. A lot of them don't have the experience or the ability to, or they're too disabled in whatever way. Showing support is fine. But you need to really understand the nature of the conflict. And it's good to have perspective from the people that are there, and understand all of the nuances otherwise that are involved with it. It's fine now. Okay. Because I've got Ukrainian friends. They're awesome people. Of course I support them. I've got friends that have been there otherwise. Yeah, cool. That's awesome. They went and did their part. They felt it was something that they needed to go do. Awesome. They did a good thing. Some of the companies I work for, they have clients in certain areas. It is what it is. It's business. It's whatever. Joe, you get shit all the time there because I don't support Ukraine or Israel. Drives super tweaker nuts. Yeah, it's whatever. Like I monitor conflicts. That doesn't mean like I'm rooting for any side of it or that I even care per se, but I have to monitor it. If I know people there, cool. I'm gonna support those people. It doesn't mean that I have to agree with that government or whatever. But if you got friends all over the place, which I do, all over the world, support your friends. It's not hard. Tuck by V1. Most people in the U.S. who wave a Ukrainian flag want someone else preferably someone they don't know, to go over there to wage war. Yeah, true. Jared. Hey, Seamus. Hey. That's right, bro. Yeah, dude. Pilgrim, legal immigration is okay. Exactly. There's a right and wrong way to do things. Just like anything, you know. When it comes to that. Mr. A, again, thanks for tuning in. What are your thoughts on quote unquote taking over Gaza? I think it's dumb. We have no reason or need to be there. We have allies in the region. They can handle it. Simple as that. We have no need to be involved. We shouldn't even be doing aid over there. You know, we have allies over there, a number of allies over there. We have customers and clients over there. It is what it is. We'll leave it at that. You know. Yeah, it's not a problem. Is that not a problem? Tuck by V1. Low battery. Take care. Thanks for tuning in, dude. Take care, Tuck. Joe, rooting for the losing side in this because there are soon to be a lot of very good-looking Eastern European women that will do anything for a green card. You're gonna be a passport bro there, Joe. Again, I've got several Ukrainian friends, and they're awesome dudes. A lot of them from the music industry. Awesome people. Awesome people. I got a couple of Russian friends. My buddy Jared here in the chat. He spent a couple of years in Russia teaching English and music and doing cool stuff, and made some cool friends. And yeah, we got friends on all sides. It's a shitty situation, but your friends, support your friends. You don't have to support the government or whoever, but your friends, you can support your friends. There's nothing wrong with that. Just being a decent person and a good friend. Mr. A, you were shocked when you saw the press conference where he called for that. Yeah, that was strange. You know, even this administration that we have now, okay, they are doing some good things, but you're not necessarily going to like everything that they do or the opinions that they have. No one's perfect, and no one is going to totally do the right thing. Do we need more people getting into various offices and administrations, both to minimize government, but also to be the right choice for the job instead of the person begging for the job? That's a big thing to consider too. Because when that happens, more good things we can progress as a country, and more good things are going to happen with doing right by the people and just making things work better, you know. Joe Morgan, yeah, those are first words out of your mouth daily with the news. Whatever. I hope both sides are having fun. Anyone who's ever been in warfare knows that when you're actually, you know, in the fight, it's not terribly fun, I guess. I mean, it can be. Anyone who's also been there knows what I mean. But there's a lot of it that cannot be fun. And then all the other stuff that you have to do otherwise, all the manual labor, all the fucking boredom, you know, and everything else involved. Man, we were all over the place with topics tonight. And that's okay. That is the spice of life right there. Any more questions or topics of discussion? Got about 15 minutes left in the live stream here, so fire away if you got anything. Yeah, metal for breakfast. Rule one, don't die. Yeah. And if you do, nothing matters. But yeah, don't die. Yep. That's why you gotta hone your skills. Become a warrior in the garden. You know. You really back to it again. There's so many people out there that are not proficient in the number of skills that they need to have, their skill sets. It's not just doing stuff with the boomstick. There's so much else involved that people are not doing. The information's out there, and I'm saying it for like the third time. The information's out there. Go forth. You need to develop your skills. Garner a greater knowledge and understanding of those things, apart from everything else, and having a good worldview, being a cultured person. Because there's a lot of ignorant fucks out there too. I like traveling. I like experiencing the world. I like experiencing things. I like all kinds of weird foods. Like all that. I like reading books. There's so many people, young people too nowadays, that don't even fucking read books. Read a book. Joe, you're uncultured swine. Right, metal. Yep, very true. What you don't know, you don't know. Once you start to know, you got to dig deeper and you got to ask why and get the understanding to the answer to why. You got to dig deeper. Surströmming is the greatest food on the planet. I won't fight you. It's pretty wild, dude. I've eaten it before. It's really hard to get though here in the States. So, lutefisk is also a big thing up here where I am too. Eat it a lot of the time during the holiday seasons. Lutefisk is a fish, usually like cod, which is cured in lye, basically to a gelatinous state, and then you cook it with like butter and like chives and things like that. It's actually really good. Surströmming is fermented herring. It's a Swedish delicacy. Known as one of the smelliest foods on the planet, but is actually, if you do it right, because you're supposed to open the can under submerged in water, you open it up, you get some of the herring out, you put it on like a rye square or a cracker or whatever, and then you put like some sour cream, some chives, and some stuff like that, or like some lingonberry jam or whatever on there, and you eat it. It's quite delicious, actually. Joe, list of people want to see the world and meet new people, see different cultures. I just want to bugger all their way. Hey, that's getting cultured too. Joe, you're culturing yourself. You're experiencing the culture along with those interactions. Yeah, you can order surströmming online. It's just it is hard to get. It is expensive. It is an acquired taste. I love kippers. We do the lutefisk here. I've had it before. It doesn't bother me, but a lot of people it does, just off of the smell alone. They just got weak stomachs for it, and that's okay. It's pretty wild, dude. I guess I could thank some of my Scandinavian heritage, my blood for that, and being able to stomach it better than other people. But I also just like weird food anyway, so it's whatever. Kipper gang. Mr. A used to go walleye fishing at Cass Lake. Cass Lake. I love walleye. Love me a good walleye. Cass Lake. Oh, it's in Minnesota. A little further west. By the Ojibwe campground and all that. Oh, it's getting up. Yeah, that's up, or that's like the southwest of the Boundary Waters area and stuff. No, that's much further west. That's a state over and further west. I've gone up to the Boundary Waters quite a few times over the years. Kawishiwi Lodge up in the Boundary Waters. Check it out in Minnesota. That's actually a really really awesome spot. Basically Land's End, and then from there is just Boundary Waters and untouched frontier up into. It does go up into Canada, so you have to be careful not to accidentally cross the border there. Because it is so remote, but that's an awesome area. But yeah, love walleye fishing. It's so good. An extra grind, yeah, it is. It's extremely potent, but it is really good. Yeah, when you do it right, it's fantastic. Absolutely, I'm so glad somebody else in here likes it too. Hell yeah. It's not for the weak stomach. It's not for the weak in general, Joe. Yeah, fermented fish, Pilgrim. It's good though. Hakarl, the Icelandic delicacy, which is fermented Greenlandic shark. That's even much more acquired taste. And Hakarl isn't that bad either. Most people say surstrumming is worse. Hakarl is a very interesting consistency, texture. Little chewy. Yeah, walleye's fantastic. Love walleye. Great walleye fishing up here. Yep, Mr. A. Oh, Minnequa. Yeah, a little further north. Yeah. I go up that area all the time. I got buddies that got land over in like Price County and stuff. Yeah, west of Tomahawk and all that. Yeah, Minnequa's cool. So then the Paul Bunyan Lodge or the Paul Bunyan restaurant up there. Fucking great food. Yeah, a lot of great. Dude, there's so much good fishing all over the state here. Jared, I cannot read Cyrillic. I don't know what you said. Demo man down. You don't think you're seeing all the chat messages? You got to put on live chat, not just top chat. It's in your chat settings at the top of the chat there. Mr. A, you work for the National Park Service. Oh, sweet. Chickamakwan National Forest is awesome. Boundary Waters is definitely one of your bucket list trips. Dude, get up there. Kawishiwi Lodge, I'm telling you. They got a bunch of cabins and stuff, and then some tent camping spots and stuff too. You can just kayak out and you can portage all the different lakes and islands and everything. Dude, it's awesome up there. It's gorgeous. Very, 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 very few people up there. An Hexagon, never had Hakarl or Lutefisk. I want to try them so bad. Love that kind of dude. Yeah, Lutefisk is you can easily get it, at least in the North Midwest here. You can easily get it. And it's cool. It's fairly tasteless until you cook it with butter and season it with stuff. It's a kind of a jelly consistency, almost like lye jellied fish. It's really good though. You just cook it up and then you eat it with like some pfannkuchen or something. Like, yeah, it's super good. Yeah, really good. You just got to season it good and cook it with butter. Salmon gang, hell yeah, Jared. Salmon's awesome. I just like eating fish in general. Fish is just great. Kipper gang, salmon gang, perch, walleye, sturgeon, cod, you name it. It's freaking awesome. Mr. A, you missed Midwest out here. You're in DC. I'm sorry. Come back to the Midwest soon, dude. Come back soon. You're always welcome. Back to the Midwest, nice. Our wonderful variety of seasons, our good food, our wonderful nature. Can't beat it. Can't beat it. I wouldn't live anywhere else. And I lived in Texas when I was younger for a few years, like a little kid. have a station in Georgia, with the Army and stuff, and lived all over the Midwest and stuff. Like up here, I love it. I don't really want to live anywhere else. This is best. Minnesota would be cool if their laws weren't as bad. So we thankfully here we still have good laws, good freedoms. Michigan's unfortunately getting a little more like that too. I know Metal for Breakfast is over there. We're kind of surrounded by states that are kind of falling apart, Illinois included. Iowa's cool. Iowa's all right. A lot of family. My dad's side of the family is from Iowa, and go down there a lot. So fairly flat unless you get up into the kind of the northeast quadrant. But yeah, it's a good time down there too. But no, I love it up here. Planning to take a trip, take the kids to Devil's Lake at Baraboo. Oh, nice. Yeah. Awesome. Baraboo's, yeah. Devil's Lake is a cool spot. Yep. And west of there, getting into what the Highland area, on the western side of the state here, there, it's awesome, dude. It really, yeah, it's a great area. Devil's Lake is really cool. Yeah. Blue Mounds State Park, further south, but you got Cave of the Mounds is right near there too. Also some places I would recommend checking out for kind of more central and to the southern, to the edge of the Driftless region and stuff. Yeah, really cool areas. I actually go out to Blue Mountain State Park quite a bit. Buddy that lives out that way. And then Vortex, their headquarters are out there in Barneveld, just south of that area. Yeah, Devil's Lake is cool though. It's a cool area. We got great trails all through the state. We got the Ice Age trails, Kettle Moraine, all that. Ice Age trails are ancient cuts in the land from the glacial period when the glaciers moved through. And you have all these amazing through the entire state hiking trails. Just fantastic. Yeah, it's all good. That's all good stuff. All right. Just about rounded up here. Only got a couple minutes left in the live stream. Anyone got any final questions or topics of discussion? Fire away. Covered quite a bit. Covered my camouflage brand stuff. Covered music stuff. Covered the community post questions. A little bit of politics. Anything and everything under the sun, really. Some of the YouTube aspects, state of YouTube aspects. Anything else? Fire away. We got a couple of minutes left here. Anything else you got? Lay it out. And I'll rapid fire it before calling it for the month's Q&A live stream. An extra grind on a good stream. Oh, thanks, bro. Yeah, absolutely. The guitar tips, yeah, take it to a good tech that could do a servicing on it, and then they can kind of assess it and look at it. It could be just one or two things that need to be tweaked, and then it could be fine, or it could be something where it may actually end up being a defect. I'm hoping it's not with the soloists, because those are sick guitars. They're great. Hopefully you get it figured out, Yeah, find a good tech and see what's up. And remember, This is good. It's a good live stream. Had a consistently higher number of people in here than even usual. I think the last two live streams I've had more people in here than what would be the base usual, which is cool. So I appreciate everyone coming in. Thanks for streaming. Oh, yeah, dude. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate you. Well, I'll have to pop on one of yours again soon, too, and shoot the breeze. Anyone else got anything? Fire away. Otherwise, I'll call it here in about 2 minutes. And then I'm going to go make dinner. And I haven't figured out what I'm going to make yet. Oh, hell yeah, Dawn. Collage of clips from Demolition Derby videos and put it to music. Do it. That would be cool. Demo derbies are fun. Who doesn't like seeing shit get smashed up, you know? Classic. Classic stuff. Always a highlight of like county fair and all that. Yeah. Let a rip. Anything else anyone's got? Fire away. Otherwise, I'm going to call it here. Right? I'd watch that. Absolutely. It's cool stuff. All right. Well, I guess we'll call it here. Stream is dope. Hey, thanks for tuning in, Mr. A. Thank you too, brother. You stay frosty as well. Stay safe over there in in the heart of darkness. Freaking yeah. Tell your folks I says hey. Watch out for a deer, eh? All right. With that, have a good night, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, and more stuff coming soon. As always, metal up. Out.